guys are back as we're able to
Yeah,
make it?
we try to get as many people back as possible, just not just for us to be together, but for the fans. We want to make it a great event for them also.
You said Corliss, you said Scotty, those were the face of the program, but really the heart and soul was Corey. Talk about, just the way Corey led you guys.
Corey, true leader, true leadership, no matter what, no injuries, everything kept him at the game. I remember when we were in Hawaii and he ripped his foot on the coral. Had the stitch and he still played that game there. So, true leadership. And you have someone like that, you're willing to follow them in the battle at any point in time.
Lee, how important were you and Darnell to the Twin Towers, I guess, coming in on that team that was kind of missing a little bit of height the year before?
I think we helped out significantly. Just because our size, so size alone, someone had to guard us. So whoever's on Corliss, you couldn't, man. He was just too powerful, So if the big man is guarding myself or Darnell, and even when Dwight is in, you had some small guy on Corliss, he was going to dominate.
I guess you were on the last Sweet 16 team. Is that kind of crazy to think about?
Yeah, that is. It's very crazy. Then I think NIT after that, so but still that championship. Hey, what can you say?
How many times have you watched the game since then? Obviously with the YouTube, it's pretty available.
Yeah, quite often. And then my co-workers, they talk about it. Then when the 30 for 30 came out, and everyone showing my son, my daughter. So probably at least about 3 to 4 times a year.
What do you feel when you watch the games?
Just emotions that came back. Sitting on the bench, actually winning the national championship as a freshman. Joy.
You look back now, the impact. The state's pretty fired up fan base, loves their Razorbacks. Is that what kind of impact do you think you got? As a kid, you probably had no idea, but now
I had no idea about how the fans, but how strong they were. But now, you think about it. There's no NBA team here in the state of Arkansas, no NFL team. It's the Razorbacks, And no matter where I go, I see fans, even in Atlanta, Texas, they're everywhere.
You know what? Everyone has a story to tell about their legacy. And if that does to come to life, that would be something that only a dream could come true. And so I hope that I'm still alive to see that come through, and I would love to see that.
You mentioned starting in that game, the defense that you played in that game. What do you remember most about that?
Well, I would tell you the night before the game when Coach told me I was starting, and more important, who he told me I was going to guard, I couldn't sleep that night. And, everybody asking about was I scared or anything. I wasn't scared. It's just the fact that, starting in the biggest game of my career. And, I played against All-Americans. We had a ton of All-Americans here. Todd Day, Lee Mayberry, Oliver Miller, Dan Corliss, Scotty, and all those guys. So I practiced against guys like that. So it was just the fact that it's my last game and one of the biggest games.
Do you remember the team being short of time to shoot around before the title game?
You know what? I really don't. I will tell you what I remember the most is all the motions going on to say that all of our hard work was about to pay off. And so that was the biggest thing that I remember.
Thank you.
Right.
No, actually I moved to Istanbul. I met my wife 2 years ago, and she was working in Istanbul as an English teacher. So I applied for a job at the school, and I got it. So I'm doing some IT consulting for online learning. It's like a top high school in Turkey. So we're living in Istanbul.
So you're an IT consultant?
Yes.
So if you live in Istanbul and teach in Turkey, it's probably like working in Oklahoma and living in Arkansas or something?
Well, it's a school that the oldest kids that are there are like a top academic in Turkey, and they're aspired to go to the foreign colleges. So it's like a big English program. So I'm not even conversing in Turkish. It's just like English pretty much, because there's about 70 teachers, faculty that speak English.
Does it ever come up over there, or unless you bring it up about what you guys did over here in '94?
Well, some people know about it once they kind of connect the dots. They talk to me about it. There's especially American teachers. They know, and they know about the NCAA, and they know about the team. They know about Nolan Richardson. They know about Corliss Williamson. So it's like it comes up, and I have some stories to tell them. So they're happy about that.
So how many times have you watched the game since then?
How many times? Probably not too many. It's like 4 or 5 times, but it was like, you know, it's just at the time, you know, like you don't realize what you accomplished, you know, and now when you look at it, it's amazing because it's been so many other games that I watched, you know, the Final Fours, and you can always like relate to those guys, you know, out there, you know, like what they're going through, and you know how much is the accomplishment that you do this, like you work hard all year, you work hard for 3 years, and you get there and you win, you know. And also we have the other feeling of the losing in the finals, but it was kind of easier to bear knowing that you have one in your pocket, you know.
I guess you won the prize for the longest trip back for the reunion.
Yeah, it was like 20 hours, so.
It took 20 hours of flying.
Yeah.
But
So,
you just figured,
three
hey,
different places. Huh?
You figured, hey, I'm not going to miss that, or
No, yeah, I missed the 15 year, and you know, when I saw the guys on YouTube later, you know, I felt really bad about it, and you know, I wanted to be here, and I've been back since like, you know, 2014, 2016 I was here, so you know, I already knew, you know, like it wasn't going to be that hard of a trip, you know. The only thing is that I couldn't take more time off work, so I'm going back tomorrow actually, but it's worth it. If it was 40 hours, I would come. You know.
Having played
what's
for
the
a big,
bottom
tough
line?
high school coach and Coach Joe Crutchmeyer, you know, you had a lot of expectations. You were one of the stars, you know, moving in overseas. You know, how did that prepare you for the tough coaching of a Nolan Richardson once you away? But also with just spending that year in Fayetteville, seeing how the basketball team under Nolan was treated, did that ease a little bit of the transition?
I think, you know, like I had a unique situation because the first time I came to Arkansas, I went to the Razorback camps, and then after we did our 3 sessions, I played pickup games with Todd Day, Oliver Miller, and Lee Mabry. So basically, from the first day, I already knew, you know, what's it all about. So it kind of grew from there. You know, I think Coach Crutchmeyer, was an excellent coach. You know, he was also tough. You know, really taught me a lot of stuff about, you know, prepared me for American way of looking at basketball, and kind of, you know, progress from there, and you know, ended up finishing out, and you know, my 4 years in Arkansas.
Last night, just the need to put Nolan's name on that court and how important that is to you guys.
I mean, it's very important that he's recognized somewhere. So if it's on the court, if it's a statue, something that has to do with Coach Richardson. What he means to us as players, not the championship team, but all the players that's played with him in junior college, in Tulsa, wherever he's coached. I mean, he's just a special man, and people need to know how special he is.
How important is that to you players, all you former players, not just this team, that he gets recognized for what he did for this year?
Well, what he's done for everyone. I'm just not going to lessen it down to just the university, just who he is as a man, where he's come from. His story is inspiring for any young player coming up, anybody in the past, anybody in the future. It's inspiring. If you go and you see his name, then you'll look up his history and you'll be inspired by what he has done, and that needs to be recognized because he has accomplished so much.
Going into that Duke game for the national championship, is there anything, maybe pregame, locker room, that you can remember?
It was always the same way. It was always the same way. We're going to go out and we're going to play with dog with rabies. That's what Coach used to say. We're going to go out and we're going to play like dog with rabies. And we're going to come out and we're going to start and we're going to finish. And that's what we did. We were a group of guys who he was led by him, and things that he taught us and worked at. It was always, we're going to work out here in the practice and then we're going to take it into the game. And it was the same way every single time.
Where were you when Scotty takes the shot?
Underneath the basket, eating popcorn. So when he made that shot, it was just another big shot, clutch shot. What we've seen Scotty do for the past 2 years.
Coach made a lot of speeches during your time here, but that national championship speech before you guys took the court, do you remember the words that he spoke to you guys?
Well, I mean, it was always us against the world. We were playing in their backyard. We didn't get our normal shoot-around time, and it was just he always made us feel like we had a chip on the shoulder, a large chip on the shoulder. So it was just the same thing. It's us against the world. Let's go out. No one expects us to be here, and just keeping us on edge is what got us.